All right, so step one of the Raptor complete detail is I just want to get the tires and wheels cleaned up. We're most likely, assuming my jack can get up high enough with some blocks, we're going to do wheels off. So we'll remove the wheels when we're doing the detail. But for right now, I at least want to get the wheels cleaned up, get the tires cleaned up. That way when the guys do because it's easier to clean here in the wash bay than it will be back at OGHQ. So first thing I'm doing is I'm hitting the tires with the Wise Guy. I'm also hitting the plastics or the rubberized plastic up underneath here. So I'm going to hit these several times. I haven't agitated it yet, so I'm just going to put some on, spray it off, and then put more on, and then agitate it. Just to get the first layer of junk off. It's been months since I've cleaned this thing. And even then, it was a halfway job. All right, so now let's get cracking on. I'm gonna do a quick little spray on the rear too. Now this is the one time that my brushes don't do as well. Having these big old tires. Alright, so step one, clean it. It's going to be time for new tires soon anyway, but we want to get these clean. It'll be a while. They're still in decent shape. Somebody's job is going to be to do some serious denibbing of these. Crap. I'm going to get this crap all over my buckets. For whatever reason, I normally do the wheels first. I don't even know why I do that, but on this car or on this truck, it's much smarter, I think, to do it this way. Just want to get the heavy stuff. We're going to get this dirty again anyway when we drive it over to the OGHQ. Wheels. And the easy detail brush. The big one works best on these. But you have to be smart about when you pull this out, because otherwise it'll fling stuff all over you. Probably check the brakes on these when we take the wheels off too. Oh man, these things are awesome. I promise, I'm gonna get these up in the store next week. Maybe not next week, but the following week. So in a couple of weeks, I'll have these up. These are way better than the Griot's ones ever were. Certainly better than the Lake Country ones that don't work very well. So when we remove the wheels, assuming we can, we'll really get in the barrels well. And these are matte, so I doubt they'll really even need to be clay barred. Maybe just a quick auto scrub on there on the inner side of the barrel. And now our wheels are clean to at least get started. Same thing with our wheel wells. It's so weird on this truck how since I bought it with all this stuff on it, like I haven't actually taken ownership of any of this. It's really weird. Like I just bought it and it works and I've left it alone. All right, so I'm gonna go around and do the other three and then we'll come back and talk more about decontamination. All right, so let's start the Raptor decon. Step one is gonna be to rinse and then foam the car. And so on this car, I'm gonna do Geon foam in the foam cannon, foam the whole truck down, and then I'm going to follow with washing with just regular Adams soap. I don't even know what's on the car. I think it was probably just some kind of spray wax or something, which is pretty much all gone. I had tested out some Nanolex, whatever their silicon dioxide wash is called. I forget what it's called, but I put some Nanolex on there about maybe 2 months ago. But really, the paint's pretty beat up. So this is going to be a lot more fun to clay, and actually, I'm not going to clay it. I'm going to auto scrub it. It'll be a lot more fun because it's a lot dirtier. So I'll pan here in a second. So I'm going to put, well, while I got you here, let's put our Geon foam in. Do about the same amount we did before. So I'm putting about 200 milliliters in here. This doesn't have a measure, but I know what that looks like. So there's 200 mLs of Geon foam, and I'll fill this bottle to the top. We'll foam the whole car. But let me get you, so I'll get you some shots of the paint and the condition of it. So here's the condition of the Raptor. I mean, this is just normal dirt, but you can hear now I haven't washed it yet, but even after I wash it, the paint is going to be pretty gnarly. It's got tons and tons of contaminants. My guess is we're going to see tons of iron come off the paint when we finish or do the second step of the decontamination phase. I hope the guys start rolling in here because I'm 5 hours or 4 hours in. The S2000's been done, and now the Raptor, and we're working on this. And so this is the basic condition of the Raptor to start. Of course, we're gonna deal with all the trim. We're gonna dial in every last square inch of this sucker. The tires already look so much better and cleaner after doing just that simple cleanup. But I mean, you can see. I mean, there's dirt. There's dirt on the truck. But I mean, that's just from normal wash. But we got some work to do. The interior from Chris is kind of dirty, but we're also going to deal with the leather in here. So we'll appoint somebody in charge of getting the shininess out of the leather. I think we might do color lock in this thing. Do the color lock system rather than doing the full whatever it's called, leather ink treatment. So we have this. Oh, you know what I need to do before I really get started on this? I need to clean the engine bay. So let's open up the hood and we'll get working on that. So before I get too far ahead of myself, I wanted to make sure I get the engine bay dialed in. Engine bays to me are so easy to clean. All I do, it's so weird having to get up on something to do this. It's just spray it out. Everything in here is sealed, so we don't really have to worry about water. So now we're gonna do some power clean. This is optimum power clean. I think I have this diluted 50%. All right, what dilution ratio do I have? I think I have this diluted 3-to-1. Yeah. So I have it diluted 3-to-1, which will be safe to use on all of these. So power clean is just a general all-purpose cleaner. I don't need to worry about too much agitation, but let me get 2 brushes. And so now all I'm going to do I'll just go around and just agitate some of these areas. I was getting really serious. I'll just take the easy detail brush. Keep everything wet. I found that the Meguiar's hyper dressing, which we're going to spray on here in a minute, does a great job of coating or covering the surfaces, or doing a great job without having to do a whole heck of a lot of extra work. And so as long as the sand and heavy dirt is off the paint or off the plastics, and usually I found this is all I really need to do. It's just a quick agitation and spray down, and then I've got a good solid finished looking detailed surface. But I've never been really obsessed with underhood, just simply because they tend to get really dirty quickly anyway. Usually more of a quick superficial cleaning for me. All right, should be good. That's the extent of what really needs to be done. So let's spray it off, and then we'll hyper dressing it and we'll be done. So this is Meguiar's D170 hyper dressing, diluted 4:1. And then all we do is spray it on. Amply. And close the hood. And leaves a nice matte looking finish. Basically, it's so that you don't notice it's even on there. That's what I want. It's always a good time to do this now, because I don't want to see APC. I don't want APC or stuff getting all over the corrected and cleaned paint later on. So I like to do this now. And because the air intake and everything's all sealed up, I mean, we don't really have to worry about anything. You know, spraying water in there. All the electrical connections are sealed. And so we shouldn't have an issue. Now, if you're dealing with a classic car or something like that, certainly you got to be careful with doing something like that. So that's the engine bay. All right, so let's rinse it off in preparation for G on foam. Notice we got zero beating. This thing's beat up. I got new wiper blades to put on. We'll do that as well. I need to get one of those planks that you put on the side. You know, one of those benches that you stand on. Let me get one of those. So I'm gonna go around, rinse the thing, and I'll come back to you when it's time to foam it. All right, so we're getting our foam and our soap ready. And we're gonna fill this bottle all the way up because the old version of the bottle blows through soap a little more quickly. Because the truck is so big, I'll actually back the dial off maybe a quarter turn so I can get the whole thing covered. And because we're gonna have to move quicker on the truck, because the foam will dry by the time I get all the way around it. I'm gonna get my soap bucket ready. Normally I like to get the soap bucket ready second. You know, the suds will hold a little longer. I like to have fresh suds, I should say. Dang, this truck is a monster. Looks like by the time anybody gets here, I'm gonna have this thing done. Maybe that's their plan. Oops, see, I want to make sure, shake it up. All right, we're foamed. Let that sit for a minute, and we'll start washing. I don't want to let this sit too long because, again, by the time I get all the way back around, it'll start to dry. Which isn't the end of the world, but I just don't want to do that. And we'll be replacing the wiper blades, so I'm not too worried about that. And so I'm going to be applying a lot more force on this than I normally would. One, because it's caked, there's caked on dirt. And secondly, I'm going to be correcting it. Plus it's white, so it doesn't matter quite as much. You can't see as much. I mean, this is noticeably rough as can be. So we're gonna do a two-step paint correction on this. Pseudo two-step. So step one is gonna be Jescar correction compound. And step two will be CarPro Essence on a finishing pad, which does fill a little bit, but the Jescar will finish down so nicely that we won't be filling anything. Just be adding our base layer of silicon dioxide in preparation for our CarPro TiO2. Not only is it a monster, but it's dirty as can be. It's just gonna make it more fun, I think, to dial it in. No one's gonna get to see how bad it really is, because I'm gonna have it deconned by the end of the day. So I'm gonna go around and wash the whole thing, and we'll come back in a few. Now that we finished, I just finished rinsing. I rinsed with deionized water again, just like I did on the S2000. So now the next step is to iron out on the paint, because I have a little bit of leftover Auto Finesse. I'll use that in the Carpro bottle, and I'll finish with the Optimum Ferrex. And then I need to get a gallon of this stuff. So what I might do on this, we'll see. I might do half of the truck at a time, because it's so big. We'll see how quickly I can get it applied. And I told you on the S2000 video that I was going to dry it off, but I'm not going to. I'm just moving on. It'll be fine. Get the wheels. So again, if you're not familiar with this, this is a solution. You know, if you live near railroads, or again, you're tracking a lot, or there's lots of brake dust that's flying around in the air, once it settles on the paint, you know, iron can tend to embed itself. And so what this solution does is chemically breaks down that iron and releases it from the clear coat. And we'll notice it because it'll turn purple. Oh, hallelujah. Yo. Right there is fine. Help has arrived, thank God. Oh yeah, tons of iron on the paint. Sorry, I'm in the middle of the crucial step.
No pausing to say hello or anything, just jump right in.
I don't know. What's up, man? You ready for this? Good to finally meet you, man.
Yeah, you too.
You're the first one here. I don't know what these other guys. I don't know what those other guys are doing. They must have gone to the hotel to take a nap or something.
They told me they were gonna be here like 1:30, so.
I'll just make some stuff up.
Yeah, just get some stuff.
Okay. Cool. Hi, I'm Michelle.
Martin, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Martin. Where are you from?
Jersey.
Oh, wow.
All right, Martin's here to help. Thank God. The other guy should be here soon. So notice the iron embedded all over the place. It's a lot easier to see when we're doing white.
Just water.
So it's a lot easier to see. And so I just went around the truck. We're about ready to just remove it. So again, I'm going to remove it with deionized water. We sprayed it on the wheels. And you can't tell on the wheels because they're black. So, wow, look at that. That makes it a lot more fun when you're actually doing something. You know, a lot of times my cars are so clean that you do all these steps and it doesn't give you the same kind of payoff that this does. So what we'll do after this, then we'll auto scrub it. $10 says those guys will get here right as we're done. So what I wanted to do today was get the decon done, so that way we can then drive them over to the headquarters, and by tomorrow they'll be dry and ready to go. And this darn wash bay, this thing broke. The stainless steel fitting split in half yesterday. I was freaking out. Luckily, I was able to kind of jerry-rig it together with a bunch of quick disconnects. Yeah, but I mean, it's working. But I put some quick disconnects on it. So here's another quick step that we need to do before I start the clay bar. So I'm going to take Power Clean, which is all-purpose cleaner for the trim. Mainly this rubber here. Just to give it a quick little cleaning before we do the real deep cleaning. I think that's really the only rubber we got. This plastic probably doesn't really need to be cleaned. All right, so we sprayed some APC on there. Let it sit for a minute. I grab my wash buckets here. Use a bug sponge just to give it a quick little cleaning. This will be prior to, so you can see all the dirt on it. So this will be prior to doing, well, you know, we'll clean it down with APC later on. Or not APC, but IPA, isopropyl alcohol. I have to load this truck up with tons of stuff. We're also, I think, gonna have to polish the glass. Glass looks beat up. So I'll do the other side and then we'll come back and start auto scrubbing this sucker. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I have O&R diluted in a clay lube, 2 ounces per 32 ounce. And then we have some Adams detail spray, which is a much more expensive option. I got 2 brand new auto scrub, nanoskin auto scrub blocks. These are the fine version. Now they're brand new, so we'll want to do the glass first. So you don't break it in on the glass. That way it hopefully doesn't mar the paint. Because the glass is a lot strong, you know, so the chances of marring the glass is much slimmer. So we're going to go through, and again, I'm a proponent of using detail spray rather than just using soap and water. I just think it's a better lubricant. And so, I mean, I've got gallons of it, so why not? So that's what we're going to work on now. Make sure. Still a battery up. Here you go. So let's do the glass first. You want O&R or you want Adams? There you go. So just no different than a clay. Can't use too much lube. The main goal is to get that junk off the truck. I'm gonna get up in the bed and do this. So just so I can get you guys on camera, let's just do this. I'll do it from the top down, just like washing, but yeah, we're essentially gonna work the paint like so. The other thing that you'll do, Martin, is just occasionally dunk it in the bucket of soap and water just to kind of make sure you're not caking on contaminants. It's kind of like flipping your clay, kneading your clay. So with auto scrub, we just dunk it in the water.
Hit the mirrors also?
Oh yeah, every square inch of this sucker. And then right along the running boards here is clear film. You'll notice it. So just be careful on the edge of that. Let's get all the junk off of the paint.
So it's a lot easier to use than clay.
Yeah, it's easier on your hands too.
Yeah.
Now it's about, I like to think it's like 75, maybe 80% as effective.
Yeah.
Leaves a little left over in comparison, but polish will get the rest of that. The key is we don't want to have like big embedded sand and stuff like that moving around when we're polishing. So we just want to get it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, I used to perfect my claying step because I didn't know how to polish, you know, years ago. And so I would be sure to spend as much time as possible claying and getting every little part perfect. What I didn't know is I was marring the crap out of the paint. So because of how dirty this thing is, you want to use some pressure. All right, so I'm gonna go through and do the whole thing. All right, so it's 250 and I've completed all 3 steps with both cars. So my thought process here this weekend was that I wanted to get both cars decontaminated so that we don't have to wash them. I always like the decon the day before, that way all the door jams and everything can dry off. And so the last thing I'm going to do here is blow the truck off. We'll clean out all the door jams just to get those ready for polish tomorrow. So that way tomorrow morning when everybody comes, we go to the facility, we can start taping it off. We don't have to worry about blowing out all the little cracks and crevices, and we can get right to doing the compounding on both cars. And so just to recap, decontamination is, of course, washing, and I'm washing with Geon foam. So we're foaming the car, or rinsing it, then foaming it with Geon foam, letting the foam do its thing. The foam is on the car probably for 30 minutes between, and this thing probably more like 45 minutes, between putting it on, letting it sit, getting the other bucket set up, and then washing. And so we do the Geon foam first, then wash, and of course the S2000 I washed with CarPro Spotless, or spot remover. I just used regular Adam shampoo. Actually what I intended to do was to use chemical gas citrus red, but I used Adam shampoo. It really didn't matter. Just to kind of, who knows how much that step is even useful anyway. And then the S2000 I clayed, and the truck I auto scrubbed, and mainly it was just for efficiency. The auto scrub is a lot quicker, a lot easier to do. And so we auto scrub the truck. There's still some superficial water spots, but all the heavy contaminants, we got all of that out. But before both cars, before we did the auto scrub, before we did the clay, I did an iron out, which of course you saw turned this whole truck purple. So there's plenty of iron embedded in this paint. That's probably been never done. It's probably never been done to this thing since day one, since Charles bought it. So anyway, I'm going to blow it off. Since we did a CR spotless rinse, we should be all right with water spotting. I'm gonna hit up all the door jams to get those clean, and then tomorrow we'll pick up where I left off here and start the real process, which is polishing and then doing last step.
Right away.
All right, so reinforcements arrive when I'm done. All right, so what we're gonna do is
It was planned.
Jesus, dude, I'm done. This is the last work I'm gonna do this weekend. All I'm gonna do is hold the camera and point at things. So we're gonna do the door jams. Got to get the baby seats out of this thing. You know, it's this whole thing of dialing or keeping and maintaining your paint. Anytime you do something like this, like I've done it on Michelle's car or like this car, I haven't touched this thing for the year that I've had it, and we're gonna spend 20 hours on it and bring it to perfection. You know, it's like, why do I do this to myself when I could just let it go, not do anything, and then fix it? It always makes me second guess myself. But we'll so the main decontamination part's done, but we gotta just wipe out the door jams, and then we'll work on interior tomorrow. All right, so we're ready to roll. We've got a giant 55-gallon bag full of pads, vacuum, pretty much every microfiber towel I own, every polishing machine I own. OG tent I'm excited to use, tables, chairs. We're also loaded up with enough detailing gear to take care of 15 cars. So we're ready to rock. Got the Griot seat, Craftsman seat. I gotta go get one more step ladder. Scan grip light. Ooh, I gotta get the scan grip tripod. I got that too. And we're good to go. Good to go. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to